There comes a moment in every introvert's life when they finally realize the truth. Their quiet nature was never a weakness. It was an untapped strength. You see, the world often misunderstands introverts. People assume that being quiet means being insecure, that being observant means being shy, that being reserved means being afraid, that being internal means being broken. But none of that is true. Introversion is not the absence of confidence. It is confidence waiting to be activated. It is potential waiting to be expressed. It is power waiting to be directed. It is leadership waiting to be voiced. Your quietness is not emptiness. It is depth. Your silence is not avoidance. It is awareness. Your stillness is not fear. It is focus. Your reflective nature is not insecurity. It is intelligence. Everything you thought was holding you back has actually been preparing you to think deeply, to observe clearly, to understand people intuitively, to sense situations accurately, to connect meaningfully, to communicate intentionally, to lead authentically. These are not weaknesses. These are rare strengths, strengths most people never develop. But right now, your challenge is not introversion. Your challenge is social anxiety, the invisible barrier that keeps you locked inside your mind, the weight that holds your potential down, the fear that whispers, stay small, stay quiet, stay hidden, stay safe. Social anxiety is a liar. It tells you people are judging you. It tells you you're not enough. It tells you you'll make mistakes. It tells you you'll embarrass yourself. It tells you that others are better, stronger, louder, more deserving. But here is the truth you must remember. People are far too worried about themselves to judge you. Confidence is not loud, it is certain. And self-belief is not gifted, it is built. You can break social anxiety. You can build confidence from scratch. You can become the person you've always admired, not by becoming someone else, but by becoming the strongest version of yourself. Because the world does not need you to be louder. It needs you to be you, fully, unapologetically, intentionally. Introverts are not meant to blend in. They are meant to stand out through presence, not noise, through clarity, not chaos, through conviction, not volume. Social confidence is not reserved for extroverts. It is a skill, a trainable, learnable, buildable skill, and once an introvert learns it, they become unstoppable because they combine internal power with external mastery. This speech will show you how, not through tricks, not through fake confidence, not through pretending, not through forcing yourself into discomfort without guidance, but through identity shifting, through understanding your nature, through mastering your mind, through rewiring your beliefs, through elevating your energy, through practicing simple daily habits that turn fear into strength and hesitation into power. This is not just about ending social anxiety. This is about rising into the version of yourself you've always sensed within, the calm one, the capable one, the powerful one, the grounded one, the confident one, and that journey begins now because the truth is simple. You were never socially incapable. You were simply underdeveloped. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build through repetition, identity, intention, and alignment with your real nature. You are about to uncover the quiet force within you. You are about to break the chains of overthinking. You are about to silence the internal critic. You are about to step out of the shadows of anxiety and into the light of certainty. The world will not recognize you because you are about to recognize yourself. Before you rise into your full power, you must understand the real force that has been holding you back. Not introversion, never introversion. Introversion is simply your nature. It is calm, it is reflective, it is deep, it is thoughtful, it is powerful. The real enemy is something else entirely, the voice of fear that grew louder than the voice of truth. Social anxiety isn't who you are, it is a habit your mind learned. Maybe it came from a moment where you felt embarrassed, maybe from childhood environments that discouraged speaking up, maybe from people who didn't understand you, maybe from experiences where being quiet was misunderstood, maybe from comparing yourself to louder personalities, maybe from the belief that you must perform socially instead of simply being. Wherever it came from, it created the same pattern. Your mind learned to protect you by avoiding discomfort. It convinced you that remaining unseen keeps you safe. It taught you that silence prevents judgment. It pushed you toward hiding instead of expressing. But protection is not growth. Avoidance is not confidence. Silence is not safety. It is self-imprisonment. And now you are here because your spirit is tired of living in a cage built from old fears. You know there is more inside you, a bigger voice, a deeper strength, a boldness you've never expressed, a wiser version of yourself that is waiting to be unlocked. So let's expose the truth. Social anxiety is not fear of people. It is fear of your thoughts about people. You're not afraid of humans. You're afraid of judgment. You're afraid of saying the wrong thing. You're afraid of being misunderstood. You're afraid of appearing awkward. You're afraid of disappointing yourself. All of this happens in the mind before it ever happens in the world. You are not fighting people, you're fighting your imagination. Your mind creates a storm that doesn't exist. It rehearses disasters that will never happen. It exaggerates the importance of moments that others forget instantly. It tells you that people are analyzing you, when in truth they're absorbed in their own insecurities. And when you realize this truth, something shifts. People are not judging you, they are worrying about their own flaws. People are not dissecting your words, they are hoping they don't say something foolish. People are not watching your every move, they are too busy thinking about themselves. Once you understand this, anxiety loses its power, because you see clearly that the fear was never real, it was only a distorted lens. And now you will replace that lens with a new one, a lens of truth, a lens of confidence, a lens of grounded clarity. But before you rise, you must recognize one thing. Confidence is not the absence of anxiety, it is the ability to move despite it. There is no moment where you suddenly wake up and never feel nervous again. Even the strongest speakers feel a spark of anxiety. Even powerful leaders feel tension before important conversations. Even confident people feel uncertainty. The difference is simple. Confident people act anyway. Here is the truth most introverts never hear. You do not need to eliminate all fear. You only need to eliminate the belief that fear controls you. Once you understand that, you become unstoppable, because fear will show up, but you will show up stronger. Doubt will whisper, but you will speak louder. Anxiety will tug at you, but you will walk forward regardless. Social pressure will appear, but you will be grounded in your identity. And this is where your transformation begins. Not in becoming louder, but in becoming truer. Not in becoming fearless, but in becoming courageous. Not in becoming extroverted, but in becoming aligned with your introverted power. You do not defeat social anxiety by pretending to be someone else. You defeat it by becoming the strongest version of yourself. The calmer you become, the clearer you become, the more confident you become, the less control anxiety has over you. And that is exactly where you are heading, toward a version of yourself who does not hide, does not shrink, does not fear judgment, does not apologize for existing. A version who stands with quiet strength, who speaks with intention, who acts with self-respect, who leads with presence. This is only the beginning. Every transformation begins with a single shift, the shift in how you speak to yourself. Before you walk into a room with confidence, before you speak with clarity, before you stand tall in your identity, before you break the chains of social anxiety, you must first master the conversation happening inside your mind. Because your inner voice shapes your outer reality. Your thoughts shape your posture. Your beliefs shape your presence. Your expectations shape your energy. Your self-talk shapes your confidence. You will never rise above the voice that narrates your life. And if that voice is judgmental, harsh, fearful, or doubtful, it becomes impossible to step into your power. Most introverts are not held back by others. They are held back by the stories they repeat to themselves. Stories like, I'm awkward, I don't know what to say, people won't like me. Now that your inner dialogue is shifting, you can begin strengthening one of the greatest gifts an introvert possesses, a gift that very few people ever master: presence. Presence is the rare ability to walk into a room without needing to dominate it. It is the power to speak without shouting, to influence without force, to connect without pretending, to lead without trying to impress. Presence is not about being the loudest voice, it is about being the most grounded energy. And introverts by nature are built for this. Your mind observes before it reacts. Your intuition reads the environment. Your energy tunes into details others ignore. Your thoughts are deep instead of scattered. Your attention is intentional instead of impulsive. These qualities are not weaknesses, they are your superpowers. But social anxiety blocks them. It forces your energy upward into your chest and throat, making you overthink every movement. It makes your body tense, your voice shaky, your breath shallow, your eyes dart around anxiously. To build confidence, you must master the skill that anxiety fears most: staying grounded. Presence is built through grounding. Grounding is built through the body. Confidence is built through embodiment. Not thoughts alone, not affirmations alone, not positive thinking alone. Your body must experience safety before your mind can project confidence. So let's break this down into simple mastery. The anchor breath, your secret weapon. Before entering any conversation, room, or social situation, use this one simple technique. Breathe in slowly through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 2 seconds. Exhale through the mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat 3-5 times. This shifts your nervous system from fight or flight into calm control. Your mind stops racing. Your heartbeat slows. Your voice steadies. Your presence deepens. This is the breath of confidence. Slow, intentional, grounded. Even the most powerful public speakers use this. It is quiet strength made visible. 2. The body rule. Own the space you occupy. Social anxiety makes you shrink physically. You cross your arms, hunch your shoulders, tighten your neck, curl inward, minimize your movements. But confident presence has the opposite effect. Relaxed shoulders, steady movements, open posture, chin slightly lifted, chest relaxed, feet planted firmly, not stiff, not exaggerate, just grounded. Your physical posture communicates your identity before you ever say a word. When you stand with grounded presence, people instinctively respect you. 3. The eye contact myth. What introverts get wrong. You do not need intense eye contact to be confident. That is a misconception taught by extroverted standards. Introverts connect differently, gently, intentionally, respectfully. Confident eye contact for an introvert is simple. Look away briefly. Return naturally. Stay relaxed. That is enough to convey warmth, strength, and authenticity. You're not performing, you're connecting. 4. The power of pausing. Social anxiety creates urgency. Speak fast, fill silence, avoid pauses, don't seem awkward. But confident people do the opposite. They pause. Pausing is not a sign of nervousness. It is a sign of control. A pause means you are thinking clearly. You are not afraid of silence. You value your words. You choose intention over speed. Introverts excel here naturally. They think before they speak. This becomes a signature trait of your confidence. 5. The quiet charisma principle. Charisma is not loudness. It is not the ability to entertain. It is not the ability to impress. Charisma is connection, and introverts connect deeply because they listen deeply. Your attention makes people feel seen. Your understanding makes people feel valued. Your calmness makes people feel safe. That is charisma. The world cannot teach. It can only be cultivated through authenticity. You don't need to be loud to stand out. You need to be present. 6. Presence over performance. The biggest mistake socially anxious introverts make is believing they must perform socially. Performing is exhausting. Performing is inauthentic. Performing triggers anxiety. Performing makes you feel judged. Performing makes you overthink. Presence, however, feels natural. Presence means you are not trying to entertain, not trying to impress, not trying to be perfect, not trying to match someone else's personality. You are simply being calm, being present, being aligned, being grounded, being yourself. This is why presence is the antidote to anxiety. It removes the pressure to be anything more than real. Every time you hold your posture with calm confidence, every time you speak slowly and clearly, every time you allow silence without panic, every time you look at someone with gentle certainty, you tell your subconscious, I am safe, I am confident, I am capable, I am in control. And your subconscious adapts. Your nervous system adapts. Your identity adapts. Presence becomes your new normal. This is how introverts rise, through quiet mastery, not through noise. Presence is your power. It is the foundation of your social confidence. It is the energy that rewrites how the world perceives you. Not loud, not dramatic, not exaggerated, just grounded, calm, intentional, and undeniable. They're judging me. I'm not confident enough. I'll embarrass myself. I'm not interesting. I'm too quiet. These thoughts feel real because they've been repeated so many times. But repetition does not make something true. It simply makes it familiar. You are not fighting truth. You are fighting habit. And here is the truth most people overlook. Your mind believes whatever you repeat, so repeat something worth believing. Confidence is not built in front of a crowd. It is built in the quiet moments when you choose a new thought. Right now, your inner voice is programmed for survival, not success. It was trained to protect you from discomfort, not help you grow. But you are no longer a child who needs protection. You are an adult who needs empowerment, and now your inner dialogue must evolve. So let us rewrite the script. Instead of I don't know what to say, you tell yourself, I speak with clarity when I trust myself. Instead of people might judge me, you say, people are too busy with their own lives to judge mine. Instead of I'm too quiet, you affirm my calmness gives me presence. Instead of I'm awkward, you replace it with I am learning, improving, growing. Instead of I don't fit in, you change it to I don't need to fit in, I stand out through authenticity. Instead of I hope they like me, you shift to I choose the environments where my energy is respected. This is not delusion, this is reprogramming. You have been repeating negative beliefs for years. Now you will repeat empowering ones until they feel natural, automatic, undeniable. This is how confidence is built. Identity first, behavior second. You cannot act confident if you see yourself as inferior. You cannot speak with clarity if you expect rejection. You cannot enter a room with presence if your mind is shrinking. You cannot build courage if your internal dialogue is chaotic. But when your identity shifts, your entire life shifts with it. Your shoulders relax, your voice steadies, your eye contact strengthens, your energy expands, your fear dissolves, your presence grows. Because confidence is not a performance, it is a state of being, and that state is built from thoughts. So here is your new truth. You do not need to become someone else. You must stop lying to yourself about who you already are. You already possess depth, intelligence, intuition, creativity, empathy, and insight. Introverts have an inner world most people never access. Your ability to observe, analyze, reflect, and connect deeply makes you naturally powerful if you stop suppressing it. Your mind is not your enemy. It is your engine. It just needs new instructions. Here is the rule. Your inner voice must speak to you the way you would speak to someone you love. You would never tell a friend you're boring, you're unworthy, no one wants you there. You will embarrass yourself. So why speak to yourself that way? From this moment forward, your inner dialogue becomes your greatest ally, your mentor, your guide, your motivator. Each day you will speak to yourself with more honor, more respect, more compassion, more confidence, and the more you train your inner voice, the more your outer world transforms. You will begin to walk differently, talk differently, behave differently, and people will sense the shift long before you speak a word. This is the rise of your new identity, the one anxiety cannot control, the one fear cannot silence, the one doubt cannot intimidate, the one insecurity cannot shrink. This is the identity of someone who is stepping into confidence, not by force but by truth. Now that your inner voice is shifting and your presence is being trained, it is time to understand something essential. Confidence is not built through thinking. It is built through action. Not huge action, not dramatic action, not overwhelming action. Small, brave, consistent action. This is how every introvert breaks free, not by forcing themselves into uncomfortable situations, but by taking intentional steps that rewire the brain and rebuild self-trust one moment at a time. You do not conquer social anxiety in a single day. You conquer it by proving to yourself repeatedly that you can handle more than your fear suggests. This is where real confidence begins, in the tiny moments where you choose courage over comfort. Let's build these steps clearly and systematically. 1. The micro-courage rule. Every day do one small thing that challenges your social fear. Not something overwhelming, not something that shocks your system, not something that creates panic. Just one act of micro-courage. Examples: say hi to a cashier. Ask someone how their day is. Hold eye contact for 2 seconds longer. Share one thought in a conversation. Compliment someone. Ask a simple question. Speak up once in a group. Make one small request. These tiny actions create massive internal shifts, because each time you act courageously, your brain rewires itself, adapts, and learns. I can handle this. I am capable. I am safe. Fear shrinks. Confidence grows. Identity evolves. 2. The low-stakes reps principle. If anxiety makes you freeze in high-pressure moments, you start with low-pressure ones. Talk to strangers you will never see again. Practice socially in small, everyday interactions. Use environments where no one cares, no one judges, no one remembers. Grocery stores, cafes, walks outside, elevators, customer service desks, simple conversations. These are your training grounds where your new confidence is built quietly and consistently. You are not practicing for approval. You are practicing for identity. 3. The controlled exposure method. Exposure does not mean overwhelming yourself. That breaks confidence. Controlled exposure means you choose the situation, you control the pace, you stop before panic, you celebrate progress, you repeat the process. Each repetition strengthens you. Each repetition builds familiarity. Each repetition removes fear. Confidence is simply repeated courage. 4. The 5-second window. This rule will change your life. When your mind hesitates before taking a small social step, you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, because hesitation kills confidence. Once you hesitate, fear grows. Once you overthink, anxiety wins. But a countdown cuts off the overthinking loop and forces action. Small action, but action. This trains your brain to move forward before excuses form. 5. The one-sentence method. You do not need full conversations to build social confidence. You only need one sentence, just one. Examples: how's your day going? Thank you, I appreciate it. I like your shirt. That's interesting. What do you recommend? Have a great day. One sentence is enough. Once you break the fear threshold, your anxiety loses 80% of its power. Confidence doesn't come from long conversations, it comes from starting. 6. The put yourself in the room law. Your responsibility is not to impress people. Your responsibility is simply to show up. Show up to gatherings, to events, to opportunities, to conversations, to connections. You don't need to talk the whole time. You don't need to dominate energy. You don't need to be charismatic. You just need to be present. Once you are in the room, the hardest part is done. Social confidence grows from proximity, not perfection. 7. Self-trust comes from following through. Every time you avoid a situation, your brain learns, I can't handle it. Every time you face a situation, your brain learns, I am capable. Your brain is always learning, always adapting, always updating your identity based on your choices. If you want confidence, you must give your brain evidence. Not evidence of perfection, evidence of effort. Not evidence of brilliance, evidence of bravery. Not evidence of social mastery, evidence of trying. Trying is enough. Trying is victory. Trying is what strengthens your identity. Because confidence is not a feeling, confidence is self-trust. And self-trust is built brick by brick, action by action, moment by moment. 8. Celebrate the wins you used to ignore. Introverts often make the mistake of dismissing their progress. I only said one sentence. I only talked for a minute. I only went for a few minutes. I only held eye contact briefly. But these are not small moments. These are victories because they break your old patterns. Celebrate every act of courage, no matter how small. You are not competing with anyone. You are competing with who you were yesterday. Every small win changes your identity, and identity is what changes your life. 9. Action is how you silence the inner critic. You cannot think your way out of social anxiety. You cannot read your way out. You cannot wish your way out. You must act your way out. Action is what tells your subconscious, I am no longer afraid. Action rewires fear. Action builds self-respect. Action expands your comfort zone. Action transforms your self-image. This is the transformation that creates unshakable confidence, the confidence that introverts master, not through noise, but through intentional bravery. You are not required to leap. You are only required to step. Every small step is a victory. Every victory is a new identity. Every identity shift shapes your destiny. This is how an introvert becomes powerful, through small actions that compound into unstoppable confidence. As you grow through your small daily victories, something powerful begins to happen. Your identity starts to shift. You stop seeing yourself as the shy one, the quiet one, or the anxious one, and you begin to embody someone stronger, clearer, more capable, more grounded. But for this transformation to become permanent, you must examine something most people overlook: your environment, your boundaries, your energy. Because confidence is not built only from the inside out, it is also built from the outside in. You cannot rise into your highest self while living in environments that drain you, or with people who reinforce your old identity, or in habits that weaken your spirit. To break social anxiety for good, you must elevate the world around you so that it matches the world you are creating within you. Let's break this down. 1. Your environment shapes your identity. Where you spend your time becomes who you believe you are. If your environment reinforces silence, encourages hiding, magnifies fear, triggers worry, demands smallness, rewards shrinking, then your brain learns to stay small. But if your environment reinvites expression, encourages interaction, supports growth, feels safe and calm, respects your energy, inspires your potential, then your confidence expands naturally. This doesn't mean you need to surround yourself with crowds or chaos. It means choosing spaces that strengthen you instead of suffocating you. A supportive environment for an introvert looks like calm but social spaces, small groups instead of large ones, meaningful conversations instead of noise, peaceful surroundings instead of overstimulation, people who respect your quiet strength. You don't need to fit into every space. You need to choose the spaces that match your becoming. Introverts often struggle not because they are quiet, but because they lack boundaries. Without boundaries, you say yes when you want to say no, you allow draining interactions, you stay in conversations too long, you tolerate people who interrupt your peace, you exhaust your energy, you lose confidence because you lose control. But with boundaries, everything changes. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They filter out what weakens you and allow in what strengthens you. Examples of healthy boundaries: leaving conversations when you feel drained, taking breaks when needed, choosing depth over quantity, saying I need a moment without guilt, being clear about your time, protecting your mental energy. Strong boundaries do not make you rude, they make you powerful. People respect you more when you respect your own energy. Confidence grows when you stop abandoning yourself to make others comfortable. Your energy is your social currency. Most introverts believe their low energy means they are socially weak, but the truth is the opposite. Your energy is valuable because it is intentional. When introverts speak, people listen. When introverts connect, they connect deeply. When introverts engage, they do so with meaning. This is your advantage: low quantity, high quality. Social confidence does not require endless energy. It requires controlled energy. To build this, you must learn your energy cycles. When are you at your best? What drains you quickly? What restores you? What environments energize you? What conversations inspire you? Confident introverts are not always social. They are strategically social. They choose moments that align with their energy. They don't waste themselves trying to match the extroverts of the world. They lead through depth, not volume. Social anxiety grows when you are surrounded by hypercritical people, loud, dominant personalities, environments filled with pressure, people who interrupt constantly, environments that overstimulate, negative voices, toxic comparisons. These influences train your subconscious to fear interaction. To rise into confidence, you must remove what weakens you. Remove the people who silence your voice, the spaces where you feel invisible, the habits that amplify fear, the environments that kill your confidence, the relationships that drain your energy. You cannot become your highest self in environments that trained your lowest self. 5. Add the influences that build confidence. Confidence grows when you intentionally add supportive people, calm environments, meaningful conversations, small social challenges, grounding routines, positive influences, mentors who uplift, books that inspire, habits that strengthen your identity. Confidence is a system. Build your system and it will carry you even on hard days. 6. Become the guardian of your self-image. Social anxiety thrives when you give others the power to define who you are. Confidence grows when you take that power back. Repeat this truth until it becomes part of your identity. No one has the authority to define you except you. Not a stranger, not a critic, not a loud voice, not a confident person, not a past mistake, not a fear, not a memory. Your self-image is your responsibility. Your self-worth is your territory. Your confidence is your creation. You rise by guarding your spirit with the same seriousness that you guard your privacy. Protect your identity from negative influences the same way you protect your home from unwanted intruders. Confidence is the reflection of a protected inner world. 7. You become confident by living as the new version of you. This is where everything comes together. Your actions, your environment, your identity, your energy, your confidence, your calm presence. All of it merges into one truth. You are not trying to be confident. You are becoming confident. And becoming is a process, a gradual alignment where your thoughts, habits, actions, presence, and self-image catch up to the version of you who already exists within. You do not fake confidence. You activate it. You do not pretend to be bold. You reveal the boldness that was hidden. You do not force yourself into noise. You master your own quiet power, because introverted confidence is different. It is calm. It is steady. It is grounded. It is intentional. It is powerful. It is magnetic. It is real. You have reached the final stage of your transformation, the moment where all the pieces come together and the identity you once struggled to imagine now stands within reach. What you are about to understand is the same principle that elevated millions before you, the same truth Napoleon Hill uncovered in the minds of every successful individual he studied. Your destiny is built by the identity you choose to live from, not the identity imposed by your past, not the identity shaped by fear, not the identity defined by insecurity, not the identity others projected onto you, not the identity anxiety tried to trap you in, but the identity you choose. And as an introvert rising beyond social anxiety, your identity is not, I am shy, or I am anxious, or I can't talk to people, or I don't belong, or I'm awkward, or I'm inferior. Those beliefs were never your truth. They were your training. Fear trained you. Silence trained you. Avoidance trained you. Doubt trained you. But identity can be retrained. And now you are becoming something different, something stronger, something wiser, something more grounded, something more capable, something more powerful. You are becoming the introvert who is calm under pressure. This version of you does not shake under attention. You breathe deeply. You stay centered. Your mind does not spin with panic. It slows with clarity. You realize that pressure is not danger. It is opportunity. Situations that once made your heart race now make you rise. 2. You are becoming the introvert who speaks clearly and with intention. No more overthinking every word. No more rehearsing sentences in your head. No more fear of sounding imperfect. You speak slowly. You speak with presence. You speak with meaning. Your voice becomes an instrument of certainty, calm, grounded, intentional. People listen not because you are loud, but because you are real. You are becoming the introvert who is safe within themselves. You no longer seek approval. You no longer chase validation. You no longer fear rejection. You understand something many never learn. Self-respect is the foundation of confidence. You trust yourself. You back yourself. You choose yourself. You are safe in your own company, and that internal safety becomes external strength. You no longer try to be the loudest. You no longer try to compete for attention. Instead, you carry yourself with quiet power. People feel your presence before you speak. They sense your confidence in your stillness. They feel your authenticity in your energy. This is charisma of a higher form, calm resonance, not forced performance. Your strength is in awareness, clarity, intuition, and insight. You read people well. You sense the room accurately. You think before you act. You observe before you react. This makes you a natural leader, one who guides through wisdom, not through theatrics. 6. You are becoming the introvert who chooses courage over comfort. You no longer hide. You no longer avoid. You no longer run from situations that once intimidated you. You walk toward them. You face them. You move through them, not to impress anyone, but to honor your own evolution. You understand that fear loses its power whenever you step into it deliberately. You become braver with every step, and that bravery becomes your new identity. 7. You are becoming the introvert who commands their environment. You set boundaries. You choose who enters your life. You protect your energy. You elevate your surroundings. You no longer tolerate disrespect, chaos, or negativity. Your confidence is guarded with intention. You only allow relationships that nourish your growth. You only enter spaces that honor your nature. You create a world that supports the person you're becoming. 8. You are becoming the introvert who trusts the process of becoming. Confidence is not a sudden transformation. It is a series of daily upgrades. You no longer punish yourself for slow progress. You no longer attack yourself for imperfections. You no longer compare yourself to extroverts. You recognize that confidence is earned, not inherited. Each day you do one brave thing. Each day you challenge one old belief. Each day you take one step forward. Each day you honor your growth. This is the quiet discipline that builds unshakable self-belief. 9. You are becoming the introvert who is no longer defined by yesterday. Your past social struggles do not define you. Your awkward moments do not define you. Your fears do not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. Your silence does not define you. You define you, and the version of yourself you are choosing now is powerful beyond measure. Your identity is expanding. Your self-image is strengthening. Your confidence is rising. Your spirit is awakening. You are entering a chapter where you no longer apologize for your presence. You embody it. Where you no longer shrink in the face of attention. You stand tall within it. Where you no longer hide behind fear. You walk alongside courage. You are becoming the introvert the world never saw coming, the one who carries quiet power, the one who speaks with clarity, the one who stands with certainty, the one who shows up without fear, the one who acts with intention, the one who trusts themselves deeply, the one who lives aligned with their worth. This is you now, not someday, not eventually, but now, because confidence is not a destination, it is a decision. The moment you decide who you are, your life begins to align with that choice. And today you have decided something powerful. I am no longer ruled by fear. I am no longer controlled by anxiety. I am no longer hiding from life. I am becoming the confident version of myself, fully, unapologetically, and permanently. This is your truth. This is your identity. This is your becoming. The world is about to meet a new version of you, the version that was always there, waiting to be awakened. Now walk forward with your shoulders relaxed, your breath calm, your mind clear, your heart steady, and your presence grounded, because you are ready, ready to speak, ready to connect, ready to express, ready to rise, ready to be seen, ready to be heard, ready to be confident. You are no longer the introvert who hides. You are the introvert who leads. You are no longer the introvert who fears. You are the introvert who grows. You are no longer the introvert who doubts. You are the introvert who becomes. This is your transformation. This is your power. This is your new identity.